Welcome to the Wisdom Inside Out podcast. I think you're really inspiring, like even
You don't have to see the outer world and everything. But so, as an example, I do one thing. I'll say, okay, you have.
as I already shared in my other episode, is because of it's awakening for me from cancer. Lost my dad to cancer. I gone through cancer myself, and the regret that I have when I thought about death. For me, when I diagnosed with breast cancer stage 1 aggressive type, it wasn't all the how many holiday houses I have, how many bags I have. It's about, have I been living the life of that true freedom, like who I am, without have to put in a mask, without I feel like performing, not really living, going with the flow and enjoying the process. And the fact that I'm walking this path now, I never been this happy and living the life with much more ease and peace like I'm doing now, even though as a cancer survivor. And this is because I experienced it, and this is why I really highly recommend people to start looking inward. You will see the wisdom. It's always there. It's just that our ego, the conditions have blocking us. It's just like we haven't turned on the light. When you turn on that light, the awareness, we will touch base on this awareness is very important. But awareness is like the light switch on. You will see things much more clearer. You will know your direction much more, and you will walk that path much more confident. And that's what we're talking about, the true confidence. And without that full awareness, upgrade mindset, it's just like we are in the dark, It's like we always have that fear because we don't see things clear. And we will touch base a bit more on the awareness. So coming back to my favorite part is something easy and everyone can access to this is the manifestations and gratitude. For me, someone that used to be so hard to be grateful because I have a lot of expectation. Just because of my trauma, my condition, it becomes someone that really needy. So you need a lot of things. But gratitude is something that I choose to shift my attention to what I have instead of what is missing, what I don't have. And that's like recharging. It's like where you place your energy is very important. You want it a plus or you want it a negative. And this is when I start applying all this manifestation and gratitude. So Sachin, can you please explain the concept of manifestation and how does it work?
That's one of my favorite, because one thing from past. So before I say about manifestation, so what is manifestation? Manifestation is aligning your thoughts, your belief, your emotions and actions with what you desire, right? So this is what manifestation is all about. But how do you start manifesting something? You have to start with gratitude. I listen lots of podcasts and books and everything, and the favorite gentleman for me is Alan Gale, and he said we don't value what we have in our life. So as whatever is given us for free, we don't value. So what we value most, it's all the materialistic things. So as an example, what are your house, your car, your clothes, your bags, all those. These are material. Everything which is given to us are free, we don't value. So what is the free? We got 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes, our family, our mom, dad, our kids, all given us a free, right? I'm sure nobody has paid anything to get those, right? Because this is what we have given. So we don't value these many things because we look for outer things to see ourselves and how we are going to achieve. So you always have to use gratitude. So the first thing, if you can do in the morning, be grateful for this life. As you said, Lena, you're so inspiring. As you talk about the cancer, some people don't even open their eyes the next morning. So what is gratitude? You should be grateful that you are able to open your eyes in the morning, or you will be able to see one more day, because we don't know how long is our life is going to be. And for me, I get inspired from so many people. I'm so grateful that I got to meet you, Lena. Lots of people, who share the wisdom and everything. And then how do you do manifestation? So one book I highly recommend is it's all about law of attractions, and manifestation is the secret. So this is the first book I started reading before Think and Grow Rich, but that has helped me. But you have to manifest something by doing law of attraction. But manifestation will only work when you action things up and be grateful for things which you have. So how do you manifest? You can use the visualization. Like as an example, right? How did everything in this world, where everything has come from? Before anything, it's always in the mind. Somebody has manifested the phone which we carry. Somebody would have had that phone in their mind first before it came into the reality. The car which you're driving, the plane, the flying airplane, everything what you see around you, it was all manifested in somebody's mind before it came into reality. So I would say you have to manifest something, but how do you do the manifestation? Start with as soon as you get out of the bed, just be thankful for this life. Because if there is no life, what are the things you're going to achieve? And be grateful for your family, be grateful for your body, because some people don't even have one hand or one leg or one eye, or they're diagnosed with so many things. So if you're fully fit, be thankful for this body first of all, before anything. And then manifest what can you do emotionally, spiritually, put your thoughts into your mind, think about it, what you can do. Because what we always do, we always focus on the things which we don't have, and all the limiting belief which we had, and anxiety, stress, and all these things which hold us back. But rather than leaving all those behind, you need to manifest all the good things can happen in your life. And how can you do? You can start with affirmations, do affirmations, do visualization, which will help you to come out of it. So hope that answers the questions.
Yeah, definitely. I used to be someone that doesn't really use self-affirmation and stuff before, but it's very powerful. We're talking about manifestations, because I remember when I lost my dad, like maybe almost 3 years ago. I was so resisting, I didn't really want to accept it. So what I do, I pick up a new role at work at the bank. And then I pick up a uni study which is the bank support the education for that role. So I pick up the uni course. And as a full-time mom, working full-time, I feel like, okay, I have a lot of things on my plate. So if I working all those things, it distracted me, because I try not to listen to my mind. I try to find distraction from external world to help me to forget about the pain about my dad. So then there's one time, because there's so much going on, and my mind, my soul was not ready. It wasn't connected. I just kept forcing the body to do all this work. At one stage I was thinking in my head, I'm so tired. I don't want to do this anymore. And it's just 6 months later, I diagnosed with breast cancer. I think it's like my manifestation I didn't know how to manifest it properly. Our brain is to make our life, our reality come true. So it's very, very important for you to learn how to use these whole body functions. Just take example for our voice. We can make a lot of music, make a lot of tone to, and it's something for free that we have it. Learn how to use it. And our body, we can do so many things with it. Like our eyes, and especially the power of our mind, right? With so many things that I feel like the more I study about our mind and our body and our soul, I feel like it's such an amazing products that you need to learn all the manual detailing, so that way you know how to use it really well. Because like you said, we create a lot of the impossible. We can go to the other planet, like to the moon, to build the hotel under the water, or the submarine, the aeroplane that flying. It's all coming from the power of imagination, the visualization, and the belief that it's possible. And they turn it to make it happen. And for me, like going through cancer, it's like I lose everything. And then now that I have a second chance, it feels like I'm so grateful of everything. The same feeling you got food poisoning for a week, you can't get out of bed, and then when you start getting out of bed, you're like, oh, I'm so grateful of the sunlight. I'm so grateful of how my leg can walk, and this is why I have the energy to exercise. Because I was like, Lena, you have that opportunity to exercise now. Why don't you take it? It's just all this reminder. And it feels so good to be grateful. So I create a list on my phone and I write down what I'm grateful every day. Even some days just pull at it and look at it. It just bring back that emotion, because we are the emotional creatures. What we do, it's all about feeling. Like you want to get that job promotion, it's just to feel what does that job look like. You want to be rich, is what is the feeling of being rich look like. And this is why manifestation is coming to place. You can create that feeling yourself by focus on gratitude and manifestations. What you feel, you will attract. What you avoid, you will attract as well. So this is time you have to learn how to create that feeling as if you are there before you even get it. So because the foundation of the inner mind is very important. So it's nothing wrong with achieving all those goals, but the foundation is how your inner well-being strong enough or not. Because if you're chasing for it when your mind or your soul is not ready, then you will get burned out. So you want to achieve it in a process that is you're enjoying that path as you go through that process, and you have to trust yourself, trust the process to walk that path. So yeah, highly recommend to have gratitude when you get up in the morning and end your day with gratitude. Just 1-2 things, the more you have, the more power you charge to. That is our mind and our soul recharge.
Yeah. Thanks, Lena. And sorry to hear about your dad. And when you talk about that, because I've gone through similar journey a couple of years ago, my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and I know it was quite hard. And only thing has helped me to come out of it. I was so grateful for this life, because when I saw him in his deathbed, it wasn't, because until it doesn't happen to you, like, it doesn't resonate. And it was so hard for me. So only thing has helped me to come out of it. I was so thankful, for this life. And that's one thing I learned from that experience. So like, we have to be grateful for our life and grateful for these things. And as exactly what you said, you are a true inspiration sitting right in front of us, that you have conquered that cancer, come out. And I'm sure, like, this is what has helped, as you just shared, like, you are thankful, you're manifesting everything. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, like you mentioned about your dad passed. I'm so sorry to hear that. But death is something is inevitable. Like everyone will experience that one day. And this is why the reason I brought this up is just to, as a reminder, how to cherish our life much more. Because we're not going to be here for 1,000 years. Like for me, I didn't expect it to be cancer just over 40. And this is why I'm so grateful that I have the second chance. But, what if you don't have the second chance? There's research already done for, people that going through during the war. When wars just started, they have a lot of fear, so they become hurting to each other because of that fear. But then when they were on their sick bed, like almost die, or, in this tent that they cannot move around, the reporter asked all those patients, everyone in those bed in those tents, they all want to be a better person. They always want to be good. They want to help others at the end of their life, because that is everyone regret. They want to be someone that contribute back to the world. And that is I can truly like testament for that, because that when I thought about cancer, when the doctors told me that it's a breast cancer, stage 1, aggressive type, to me, like I thought cancer is a death sentence. And and that's all these things pops up in my head, like the regret that I haven't been the best version of myself. And that is to give back as much as you can. I live my life coming from a lot of needy place, which means I want people to give me instead of like chasing, instead of from a place of giving back. And everyone can give back anytime. It doesn't have with money or doesn't have energy. Like, your wisdom, your just go out, open the door. If we want to, we always have that opportunity to give back. And I'm sure like a lot of you can resonate that when we do good things, it's actually come back to us, that happiness, the proud that I'm a better person. I'm not a place that always begging for people to give or always chasing. I'm coming from a place of giving, and that is a really good feeling to have, and recharging our energy and soul, because not everyone have a second chance like me, and you don't want to realize this when you're already at your deathbed or your sick bed already. So thinking about death is not bad for me. It's a reminder. What I learned from my dad is how to live my life, because life is too short. Eventually it's going to be my time, but I feel like if I do if I try my best in this life, then I think that at the last breath of my life, I will still feel, I left a legacy. I have done well, and I'm happy to move on. So highly recommend it. If you have anything to share, please drop in the comment below so we can connect and learn our wisdom and experience together. Like I said, everyone have unique experience in life, and they always have something to share. And that's how we learn from each other without have to go through the pain like me. I always learn things the hard way, but pain is a good teacher for me. That's what I learned. Yeah. Coming to forgiveness and mind power, I really think the more I study, read book, and listen to podcasts, I'm amazed how powerful is our mind is, and like how a lot of things we didn't get a full access to that power because of the fears. So let's just talk about forgiveness first, because people seems to over or underestimate the power of forgiveness, how powerful it is. So why is forgiveness play an important role? Before I move to the next questions.
That's interesting question. And forgiveness is always, like it frees us up, right? So sometimes we hold lots of resentment from our past, and we put too much weight on our body and our mind. So forgiveness doesn't mean like condoning. It means choosing peace over pain, right? So, and releasing ourselves from emotion. So sometimes forgiveness is good, because what happens if we don't forgive, like we are holding so many things inside us, and it's bothering us. So I always remember, like one of my mentors shared one of the example, right? So he said, if I got say I got a piece of paper in my hand, and if I have to give it to the other person, and if that person doesn't take that paper from you, it's going to stay with you, right? So similarly, if you are holding any grudges towards any person or anyone, it's like that person doesn't know that you're holding. It's within you. So if you're holding any grudges, if you're holding any stuff about anyone, resentment, whatever, like it's holding you back. It's holding you back. It's not because they're not saying anything. It's within you. So as an example of the paper, if the paper not given to the person, it's with you. So what are you going to do with that paper? Either you want to keep it somewhere, or it will be bothering, or what the hell am I going to do? Similarly, all the resentment, or all the grudges which you hold yourself, the forgiveness is the best thing you can do, because when you forgive yourself, like forgive them or forgive yourself for anything you've done. So forgiveness is one, it's about them, but another thing, forgiveness, it's about you. Like when you get out of the bed in the morning, you can just say, thank you for this life. Forgive me if I've done something wrong, intentionally or unintentionally. Because sometimes we do certain things which you're not sure of, and it's not intentional, but we don't know. So there's no harm. You just, sit in the morning and just say, thank you. Like if you believe in God, if you believe in universe, just say thank you. Thank you for this life, and thank you for trusting and giving me, and just forgiving yourself for anything you have done. So forgiveness plays very important role, because what it does, it will give you a peace of mind, and when you go to the bed, you have done for the rest of the day, and you move forward. Because the if all those resentment and grudges which hold you back, it won't allow you to move forward. And by forgiving, or using the forgiveness, you can move forward without anything holding you back, and you can move forward in your life.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I used to not seeing this how powerful forgiveness is, such as because I think it's my ego, like I want to win, so like I'm not gonna forgive. It's not acceptable. I'm not gonna forgive other people. But forgiveness is starting from ourselves. Like every day we human being, we have imperfections, we make mistakes, and it's starting from learn how to love and forgive yourself. Because how I look at it, it's like if you don't forgive yourself, you carry that shame and guilt. It's like a bag that you keep adding on your shoulder. And what happens when you put so many things on your shoulders? You don't have enough energy to grab on other good things to add on. You don't have a clear space to add any good stuff on. So it's like a baggage that weighs your energy, but it's nothing benefit for you. So a lot of people think forgive others is for them. No, it's really for yourself. You reclaim your power back, like you clear your shoulders. How free is it if you remove all this baggage that doesn't do you any favor? It's just like, for me, it's just like open a phone with an app down without using. You're wasting your battery. So, and usually if it's hard for you to forgive yourself, it's usually hard to forgive others as well. It's the reflection. So this is why practice to forgive yourself. And, like I said, we may have a lot of role in life, but the only role that we really have is to take care of our body and mind really well, like our little child, to fully love it, to fully value it, to fully give everything to these whole things, because it's like your little baby. That's your really job, because your parent can't do this for you. Like, yes, they can help you when small, but the best person to do it is you should always be your number one fan. You shouldn't let other people love you more than you love yourself. You shouldn't let other people value you more than you value yourself. And you shouldn't let other people give you more than you give yourself. And the same with forgiveness and stuff. The reason why is that because even without these people, you still can have that love, that value, that you still survive without other people. And this is why we don't let other people love us more, because if other people love you more and you are loving yourself less, it's a self-sabotage right there. So you always have to be your number one fan, and forgiveness play a very important role, because that's how you release all this baggage and clear the space for the new things that are going to come through your life. So if you have a handful of this anger and resentment, if some good stuff come out, you don't have enough hand to carry anymore, because you don't have any space. So, the same like our phone, right? So if you have too many random photos, you don't have enough memory for new things. So you have to clear and release it. And it's very powerful, because you have to create the space for those important things that come into our life. We don't want to waste that energy on things that keep hurting us and no longer benefit us. So, moving to the power of time. It's very fascinating. I know we can go a whole episode for this, but we're gonna like try to make so our audience can understand and have a grasp how does the power of our mind and how to overcome fears and limiting beliefs to reach that full potential.
So when you ask that question, I think it's for me, to be honest, because I had so much of limiting belief, and sometimes those beliefs are not us, but like we work, as I was sharing, like working for 20 plus years, I was just looking at this. So I had so much of limiting belief, like fear of failure, what are the people is going to think about me, imposter syndrome, lots of anxiety, overwhelming at time. And why this thing was holding me up, only things has helped me out, it was power of my mind. And how I overcome all of those fear. And I would love to share one exercise which I did and which has helped me, if that's okay, Lena. So what I did, I was reading the book, and one idea came into my mind, and I thought, why not do this? So I took a piece of paper, A4 size, ripped that into 8, and I've written one night before going to the bed, because I do journaling. So I thought, tomorrow morning, because I do pray every morning, so I thought I'll sit down, I'll write all of those my fears, and next morning I'll burn them down. Initially I thought I'll burn them down one at a time, but when I sat in the next morning in my prayer room, I thought, why to wait for 8 weeks, bloody burn them down at once. And when I burned them down, it felt so great. And why I'm sharing this, because that has helped me a lot. Because for me now, if any of those things comes into my mind, I'll say, oh, these are already burned down, these are just the ashes, it's no more there. It's like, when we die or anything, our body dissipates from this world. So similarly, all those belief was in my head. So how to overcome those things? I have to work on my mind, and this is the power of mind, and this is what the mind can do to you. And now, any times, even any thoughts comes into mind, I look at, because I took a photo of that thing in the air. So anytime any of those fearful thoughts or any belief or anything comes, again, ultimately we all are human beings, and sometimes those thoughts may come up, but I look at that photo, or I remind myself, oh, these are the ashes, move forward in your life. So power of mind is so brilliant, so great. And as we all talk about, on our conversation before, it's all about mind, body, soul. You have to work on it, you have to affirmation, you have to use gratitude, to build upon, because our mind is all built on our neuroplasticity, right? So how you rewire your mind? To rewire your mind, you have to visualize, you have to use gratitude, you have to use affirmation. And if you use all of those things, you're rewiring your mind, and basically you're creating your new brain waves, because all those old brain waves are all the anxiety and all the fear. And if you have to come, as I initially said, fixed to growth mindset, this is what you do. So what is it? That was your fixed mindset, all the fear limiting. What is the growth mindset? This is what you do on a day-to-day basis, and this is the real power of your mind.
Yeah, like I said, we can go on more and more, but I think that's too much for our audience to grasp in. But yeah, like being human being, everyone have fears, like I said, and that was creating from most of them is from our childhood and teenagers. So like I haven't tried that exercise yet, but maybe our audience could try. I think doing what you do, that exercise, is just to create the belief, because you create the belief that it's all gone, the fear is all gone. So I think the power, like the mind can create anything. And then when you have the belief that I'm not a drinker, I'm not a smoker, you know what to do easier when you have that belief. And that belief will trigger to your thought, the way you think. Because if you believe a certain thing, it will lead to the way you think, it will lead to the way you feel, your emotion, it will lead to action and behavior. and it will lead to your habits and identity, or even your destiny if you keep building a long identity for a long time. So coming back, like what I said about fear, how I overcome my fear is that now I keep reminding myself that, you know, fear is an illusion. It's not reality yet. It's the way our mind works. It tries to protect us and it calculates the worst case scenario for us. So, you know, because enter the present moment, doing something new, it's the brain doesn't have enough data. They only have data from the past. And so they try to calculate the worst case scenario to tell you maybe don't go there. It's not safe. You know, it's just the nature of our mind. But when you understand that, oh, they try to keep you safe, but it's not going to evolve you. And it's not reality. It's just in your head. But if you keep planting that seed for a long time, it's going to become reality. So this is why, you know, learn how to shift it is very important, because our power of our mind is just like the computer, right? We installing what program are you choosing to installing. Yes, when you're installing things, it will take time and you have to pick the right program. It will take time until that program is run by itself. But this is why little action, because our mind like visualizations. So when we visualize things, it creates emotion straight away. So this is why we were talking about manifestation and visualizations. Is because when you have the pictures, it creates the emotion, so you kind of know what to do next. And second thing is our brain loves repetitions, familiar. This is why we think the same as yesterday, we eat the same food as yesterday, we do things the same. So I know it's to create familiar, you have to start doing something new, healthy for the first time first. And yet this is why a lot of researchers say do it for 21 days or, you know, to get into that habit. So you have to repeat it long enough to build that muscle memory, that autopilot, for you to don't have to think and you do it by itself. You know, there's a time where you want to go home because you drive that same route every day. Sometimes you don't even think, you do something and you still get yourself home, because that's how smart our body is. When you do things at a certain level or how many times, it will remember by itself. And this is why, you know, that screaming at your kids is not good, but you still do it because it's a habit. We're going to move on to the next one, which is mindfulness and awareness, how to start the shifting. But yeah, the mind is so powerful. And I feel like we didn't have enough time to study about our mind, and we seem to, you know, rely on external things too much. Like my kids, like, you know, they want to rely on toys to play, rely on device to entertain them. I go, no, go back to your mind. I'm sure you can create something fun out of this. Like take away, and they can come up with a game. And it's all using the power of their mind, you know. And like, I know they don't like pack up. I go, I believe you. If you can create something fun to pack this up. And they come up with a competition racing to pack up the toy. So, you know, like we have to start tapping into our mind and learn to use it more. I know fear has stopping it. Think about it. Fear, it's just an illusion. It's not real yet. So it's just there to protect you. But when you understand that its nature, like the way our brain works, you will learn to let fear stay aside, and that is to take actions. To have the courage to take actions will overcome your fear. So, and a lot of fears, I know a lot of people, common one is the fear of judgment, the fear of failure. And for me, I learned to look at failure differently, because if I have that fear, I have to look. Failure is a good thing to measure it's like a starting point to measure my growing. It shows that I'm doing something for my life, and that is starting with failing something first. You know, there's no way we can get succeed without failing. Like you can ask all these success people. And for me to get comfortable with failure is to look at failure differently. And that is to think that is for me to learn and grow, look at the benefit side instead of the negative side from it. So we can go, like I said, we can go a lot more. If you can resonate or you want to share something or you want us to talk more, please comment in our comment below so we can connect and share more experience with you. Coming to, you know, I think it's very important, the awareness, mindfulness, and Sachin. So what is awareness or mindfulness? before I ask you how to apply to our daily life.
Oh, so mindfulness, that's what I do, like daily, every day. I've been doing that for so many years. So mindfulness for me is just doing some of the practices, and it's basically mindfulness allows us to respond rather than react. So what happens, and I think mindfulness and awareness goes hand in hand. So for me, mindfulness is all about practicing mindfulness, like doing some breathing exercise, observing your body, your reflection. That will only happen if you are aware. And while I'm doing this coaching like course, what I've learned, that awareness for me has been the big part to for me to move forward. And when I'm aware, I know what I've been doing. So all this awareness and mindfulness goes in hand, because if you are aware what is happening with your mind, your body and soul, then you can move forward. And how that will come, it's all using the mindfulness practices. So what is mindfulness practices and how can you do it? You have to be aware first, like what these practices can do to move you forward. And self-awareness is the foundation for growth, better relationship and inner peace. That's what I would sound say that. So you have to be aware how this thing is going to help. So as an example, like if if it's good or bad, you have to be aware first. So at the moment, because for me, what I have realized, that what lots of people go through, they're not aware that what are the things they're going through in their life. And how they'll get to know, they have to start using the mindfulness practices in their life to be aware. And when the awareness happens, then they can move forward. Because if you're not aware what's happening, because lots of the time is the awareness. It's like when we don't know what the problem is, how are you going to find the solution? So for me, like initially, to be honest, how I shared about my limiting belief, I wasn't aware that I had all those beliefs to start with. So I didn't know what the problem was, so I didn't know the solution. But when my awareness made me aware that, oh, these are the problem, or these are the issues, these are the challenges I'm going through, and how do I overcome those issues, those challenges, those limiting beliefs, and how to overcome, I have used the mindfulness practices, and that has me a lot. And I've been doing that from past so many years. I do meditate in the morning. I started using yoga. I've only started using journaling from past 4 or 5 months. So I do that in the morning and I do in the evening. What are the things I'm grateful for? As we shared, we have to be grateful for, to start with. As soon as we get out of the bed, we need to be grateful for this life and move forward. And do meditation. And meditation doesn't have to be like you have to sit and there for so many hours or anything. You can start with 2 minutes, 5 minutes to start with. Just sit down, just do, basically take yourself out, because in this world there are lots of noise, lots. And this is what
Distraction.
I've realized. There's a lot of noise, there's lots of distraction when you go out there, like especially now your phone. When you go out there, people will talk you so many things. So you have to take time out for yourself. Because I have asked, like while I'm like on this podcast, I do want to share this. I have asked my friend, okay, how much time do you take to yourself? I asked like 4 5 friends, and the answer was none. They don't have time for themselves. So I'm asking the same question. Whoever people is watching this podcast, the first question you have to ask before you start your awareness: how much time do you allow yourself? And when I said yourself, it means there's no wife, no phone, no kids. It's just you. You being present in the moment and taking yourself. And if answer of this question is no, then I would highly recommend take at least to start with 2 to 5 minutes and sit down, do some breathing exercises, and you'll get to know, okay, what you're missing out on. So I'm sharing that from my personal experience. I have gone through that, and I believe in this, and I guarantee you that it works, and it has worked for me, it has worked for so many people. So I would highly recommend to use mindfulness and awareness in your life.
Thank you. That's very, very beautiful explaining it. Yeah, like I already said previously, like mindfulness awareness is very important because, like you said, sometimes it's a blind spot. You don't know what it is until you start observing. This is why writing a journal is very important as well. So I'm pretty sure you know, like when you scream at your kids, you don't want that, you know. But then I want you to observe the pattern. Like when that happened, what was your emotion before that? What was your thought before that? What was your belief before that? Write it down and see. This is how you start noticing and recognizing your pattern. Because, like you said, if you don't know how you're gonna change it, and this is why owning up for your imperfection. We are true human. There's always a lot of imperfection. There's a lot of blind spot, especially carrying from a childhood, that we didn't know how to process things in a skillful way. So we carry a lot of the way we're doing things, the way we talk to ourselves in an unhealthy way. And this is why, as an adult, we have a lot to unpack and unlearn. So we can start rewiring and a new program, a new healthy program that can help us to grow and evolve. And without mindfulness or awareness, we can't do that. Like, the first step of changing is to know what is something that you need to improve on, you know. And if you think I'm all perfect, then you know, I'm not sure, but maybe seek a therapist or a coach to help you with the blind spot. Sometimes you don't know because if it's a blind spot. So but for me, the awareness is similar to meditation. Yes, it can, a lot of people meditation, but if you don't sit down and do meditation, it's all about reflections. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? You will have the answer. If the more you keep asking yourself, the more you wake your mind up. And this is what awareness is. You're waking your mind up. If you don't ask yourself, you don't know the answer. It's just like if you don't keep looking for the switch, you're not gonna find the switch. So ask yourself, why am I triggered this way? Why do I talk to people this way? And usually with your action, this is the pattern of it's coming from your limiting belief that triggered the way you think, and they triggered your emotion, and you triggered your action. So action is something that everyone can see, so easy to see. Maybe do reverse engineering and starting from your actions, right? If you don't like the outcome of you screaming or you're angry or something, notice asking yourself, what was I feeling before that? What was I thinking before that? And what belief at that? I'm pretty sure it's a limiting belief or a negative belief. You know, like I used to get triggered, like when I asked my son, have you done the homework? And he haven't done it. Straight away, I was triggered because I having this belief, kids that doesn't doing the homework, they're gonna fail in life. But really, it's just something happened on that day. But that's because I have this limiting belief. It's starting from the belief that he's gonna fail in life because he didn't do his homework. And because I have that negative belief, it triggered me for having a negative thought of having his futures, like, you know, a drug dealer or something on the street. And when I think of negative, what's gonna happen? It impacts my emotion. I feel bad. And what I feel bad, I release that pain to my kids. And they release it to the action. So this is why writing a journal highly recommend, because we all have two eyes at the front. We learn things quicker when we see things, and that's why it's to ask yourself question and writing a journal to see the pattern. And then when you recognize your pattern, you can change it. And please, I just want to let you know, don't feel embarrassed or shame of your imperfections. Everyone have that. And strong people, they own up for their imperfection, because it's the same as you acknowledge that I don't know the answer. And that's when you start to know the answer. So own up for that. Yes, this belief is no longer serve me. When you own up for that belief that's no longer serve you, it will push you to take action or accountability. people don't take accountability because they don't own up for their mistake first. So it's not thick enough, it's not strong enough. And this is why own up for that belief is no longer serve you will bring you to the next step of taking accountability and do something about it. And it's a great thing to bring it to the surface, because a lot of articles coming from my own experience, I like to suppress my emotions of, like, I know that it's embarrassing to turn up late or whatever, but I choose not to talk about it. I choose to hide it and avoid it. And that's when I choose not to progress myself as well, because it dig in. So it's never bring up to talk about it. But when you own up, you bring it to the surface. Now you're doing something about it. And that's when the transformation starts. So awareness is the key to start with a lot of things. It's the power of notice, the power of recognizing things that something that could have done better. And also is that meditation. I'm someone that doesn't really do much meditation before my cancer. But now, if people to ask me between going holiday or sit down and do meditation, I would just like meditation anytime. I feel that recharge, that connections. It's just like mindfulness. You gain that stronger awareness, like you turn the lights on. So you remove a lot of fear in your life. It's just like you turn the switch light on, you know where to go to the toilet, you know where to go to the bathroom. So that is what I want to compare the awareness like. It's just like you have clarity, you have a sense of direction where to go, and how powerful it is when you increase your awareness. The brighter your awareness is, it's like the brighter the light you have in your life, and the less fear that you will have in your life as well. And yeah, we definitely can have a lot more, but I only booked session for 90 minutes. So, if you guys resonate with these or share your experience, something that we can learn together and grow together, please put in comment below. And one thing that if sometimes I don't know what to do, I like to ask myself questions like, what would be a great Lena do in this moment? And I will know, like the same with my kids, I will ask them, like, if they want to eat lolly, I will ask them, what is a healthy Abigail would want to do at this moment? It's just sometimes you put the word great or you put the word healthy, it's just to prime your intention to think. Because like Sutton said, we are in the world, it's so easy to get distracted. And sometimes we just pick all this to prime our intention to where to focus on. So that way it's easy for us to make a decision. Because if we don't prime our intention to put the word great, to put the word easy, to put the word fun or healthy first, then we can't decide what I'm gonna do. So like every of my presentation or sessions, I usually it's so easy for me to connect to my clients, talk to my clients. Like I have to prime my intention that way, and it connected to emotions straight away. So if you're not sure what to do, you can ask yourself, like, what would be a happy version of you would do in this moment? So that way you narrow the intention to just happy, and you will have an answer, what you will know what to do in life. Please share if this resonate with you, or if you have a better way of doing it. I would love to hear from you. And now it's coming to the end, our final question section. I just want to ask you, I ask this question to all my guests as well. If you were to leave one piece of advice for our younger generations, what would that be and why?
Thank you, Lena. Great question. One piece of advice for the next generation. My advice would be stay curious, get to learn things each and every day, because we got a very short life and you got lot of learning to go through your life. Learn your lessons, go through each and every step of your life, stay curious and explore yourself. The more you're going to explore, the more learning you're going to have. And don't hesitate with anything, because if you hesitate, then you won't be able to enjoy what you're trying to achieve. So my advice to young generation would be, keep enjoying, keep learning. And why you want to do that? Because you want to have a fun. And especially what happens when you grow older, then you keep busy working with your family life, your working life, and there are a lot of new changes it's going to come. However, my advice would be, just keep learning and having fun. Even you grow older, have fun with what you do, and just put your head into the stuff which you like and learn as much as you can, and enjoy the process and trust the journey. And each day you'll be growing and learning new different things, and stay passionate about your own stuff which you love. Don't hesitate what people's going to say, what they're going to think about you, how you're going to pursue yourself, what you're going to achieve. Just learn, and being curious, I'm sure you will achieve your goals. So that would be my advice. Thanks, Lena.
That's a really, really good advice. And I totally agree with you. Trust yourself. The reason you're feeling overwhelming, the reason you feel stressed, that's because you didn't trust yourself. And like you said, I've gone through so much over 40 years of my life, and that's when I come to realize everything that I'm looking for is really within me. I was chasing at the wrong place, in food, in relationship, in work, in other people, but really everything is all within me, and you just have to trust it. Like, you survive up until now, you are fine, you are safe. And when you trust yourself, you will trust the process as well. So it's very important for you to overcome whatever fears come up, just to remind yourself that you are already enough. Will always be enough, and then just go on. Even though you make a mistake, you will learn from it. There's no one person that doesn't make a mistake, and that's how you learn from it. You will, like I said, in life, it's not about falling. It's about how soon you rise after you fall. And that's what's life, and that's what everyone's doing. So trust yourself. That's from me as well. And, believe yourself, love yourself, value yourself, and give yourself all the best things. Treat yourself like a little baby that you really love. Even though you make a mistake, you still want to love yourself, want to fully value yourself, want to give yourself the best thing that you can. So thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I will share Sachin's detail. You're not connected with him. Like I said, he's an extraordinary life coach. I learned so much from him. And I'm sure that, you will transform if you need help. I mean, if you try all these little tips and you still feel like you need more guidance, highly recommend a life coach or him. He's in New Zealand, and I will share his detail at the bottom of these screens where you can reach him on social medias, his coaching business and stuff like that. And please, even though you have any feedback from me, like I said, for me, it's all about progressing, not perfection. So if you have feedback from me that you want me to improve, please feel free to drop in the comment below as well. I would love to hear from you. And I just want to let you know that I'm doing all this is because I have that regret, and at the moment I'm so enjoying this process, and it's all about growing together and learning together. So happy to hear from you. Thank you so much, Sachin, and enjoy your weekend with the family. Take care until we see you again next time.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to the Wisdom Inside Out. Stay tuned. Please follow me on this social media platform.